Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Estancia Lapacho here in Paraguay. We are just bringing our massive, great big trailer load of wood chips into the sawmill so that we can sell them, and then we're going to go and park this trailer back up near the plateau and we'll load up a few more. We're not going to be selling all the wood chips though. I already stated quite clearly that I didn't actually intend to do any wood chips, and I decided to do these just because it's like $380 per 1,000 litres, which I thought wasn't too shabby really. You take a look at the price right here. No, 330 per 1,000 litres, and that's pretty good. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I've already put the sugarcane going again. We got to go back there next, and we've got to unload the actual main sugarcane trailer. Let me just find the tip button. There we go. My weekly question for this week, well, that tips out, is the sugarcane that we're working on right now, right here on field 2. We can just leave it when the harvest is finished, and it will all grow again, if we want to. Or, if you don't want me to just leave it, let it grow again, I could get rid of the sugarcane completely, and we could forget about sugarcane. We can sell all the sugarcane equipment and not do any more sugarcane after this harvest. Or I could plough that field up, and we could instead plant sugarcane either on that field there, the big field there, or this really big field down here, and have an absolutely massive harvest of sugarcane before we finish this series. So it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. What would you like me to do with the sugarcane after we have finished this harvest? So our next task, I'm going to get this one over to the sugarcane field, and I'm going to swap over onto those trailers so I can get those emptied out, and then we can do that, get the trailers back over, and then we can keep filling them up. Once we've done that, we need to get onto the Star Imperador, I think it is, that one over there. Is finished doing the maize, so we need to go and fill it back up again, and then when we've filled it back up again, we'll need to start it spraying on the next field, which is going to be the big field. We're going to start on that big field over there, and I think what we'll probably do is just start it at the small end and let it start working its way across. It's going to take at least 2 loads, I think, to do that field, if I remember correctly. So we've got a lot of work to do with the sprayer yet. It's the big field that really takes the time for that. Let me get, there we go, I'll unhitch that one. And then I can go in and I can hitch this one on here, in theory. Back that one up a little bit further, and right, hitch that one on there. We're going to take these 2 over to the train station and we'll tip them out there. We're leaving this stuff in storage at the moment. Now, I don't remember if I was able to go around the top. Can I go around the top? I don't think I can. I think there's like a spot there. We can go up here, but there's no track across here and there's no track down there. So we've got to go down this way and in this way to get to the train these days. So we will actually, I should have just gone through the train, through the yard. It would have been easier. That's all right. We'll go around this way. We'll go down alongside this field. We can just take a quick look at this. Yeah, well, we're probably going to have to do one round around the outside, or at least do some around the outside, using the Imperador just to finish off doing the spraying, the fertilizer on this field. It shouldn't take too long to do that. That's one bit that is a little bit time consuming, is doing, when you've got odd shaped fields, you do have to manually do some around the edges. You probably noticed in a lot of the time lapses that I've always had to do that. And it's not something I dislike. I do like that you do a bit around the edge of the fields in order to sort of keep it all running, and it seems reasonably fitting. I do, however, love the fact that with the hired help, the AI vehicle extension that we use, when you put the combine going, it very intelligently finds its own way around the edge of the field, and you can have it do a few rounds around the edge of the field, and then you can set it doing up and down. It runs up and down the field after you've done that. And I really, really hope that the behavior of the AI is the top priority for being addressed in FS19. Now, looking at the graphics from in-game pictures and stuff that we've seen so far, it does look an awful lot like the graphics of the game have taken yet another step up. We had a fair step up in the end, And we did sort of think, well, a lot of people thought to start with, that there wouldn't be much of a difference between FS15 and this one, FS17. However, once you got the games and you lined them up side by side, there was a noticeable improvement between the two. I need to finish lowering that down before I switch over to the rear trailer. Yeah, the graphic difference between the two games, when you line them up side by side, there is a noticeable difference. And I think there is another noticeable improvement between the two. You'd think that we're getting pretty close to you know, very good graphics. I've seen pictures taken from the game now with some mods and stuff that, you know, it looks almost photorealistic, but when you put that side by side with some of the screenshots that have come out of FS19, now I know that they're professionally done and posed screenshots and everything, you know, the devs have really taken the absolute best that they possibly can and put the screenshots. They still look pretty good. They still look pretty good. I cannot see that, you know, it doesn't look like just a slight improvement over these. It is another step up in the graphics. And I'm quite excited to see that. But what I would like to see more than anything else, I think there's also extra crops, I can't remember at the moment. What I'd like to see more than anything else really is an AI improvement. I really want to see an AI improvement. How we interact with neighbours and stuff. I love the way that the missions have sort of been done. I know that they were a bit out of whack to start with, but the balance was better achieved later on to sort of, you know, you go in a hardcore mode and you can do things, yeah, hardcore. You can go into normal mode for most more casual players, where you go along and you do a few jobs for other farmers, you earn a decent bit of money, and it really helps to finance your operation. So they've achieved a good balance, I felt, between realism and you know, being able to play the game. And I really hope that they maintain this balance by giving us different modes, because I know some people like ultra realistic prices and doing everything ultra realistic, which is great and all. It does have its moments. There is, I've always felt there's like a time and a place. And ultra realistic, oh actually it's going to tip the other way, so I'm going to just bring this back down this way a bit and I'll drive out and tip. Ultra realistic is good, but I do feel that it has its time. It's sort of it's a time and a place thing for me, the whole ultra realism. And I don't like to have ultra realism on all the time. I like to be able to go to not quite so realistic. You know, I'm aware that the prices on the game are not entirely accurate. You know, people go for a mod that changes the prices to something that's a bit more realistic, so you get a lot less money for selling a pig or something. Or I think one of the big ones was that it cost too much money to buy the pigs in the first place, or buy any of the stock. My counter-argument to that is that it seems fairly well balanced, considering that an entire year, as far as the arable side is concerned, takes place in 3 days. So really, when you think about that, and you weigh that up with the animal production, it did seem to me to be reasonably balanced, which is why I've never used a price adjustment mod for any of the animals, because I've always felt that they seem to be about right. When you take into account the fact that the animals are... you know, you're looking at a year every 3 days, or a year every 2 days, depending on how you play. It did seem to me to not be very unrealistic, sort of when you took that into account. But yeah, so I'd very much like to see a number of modes of gameplay. So you've got something for the ultra realistic, super hardcore players that really like to have everything as close to real life as is physically possible. But you've also got the slightly more arcade-style modes for more casual players, myself included. I prefer a slightly more casual style rather than really, really hardcore, doing everything absolutely spot-on, perfect for realism. And I'm really, really hoping that this new version of the game offers both of these options. Right, we are moved over just a little bit too much there. So if I go up there like that, should work. You have not completed your task. Do not lie to me. No, you have not completed your task. Go on. There we go. Right. we had a difference of opinion there between myself and our employee about whether or not the job was done. He's finally realised that he would actually like to keep his job and has therefore decided to continue on with his work, which is excellent. I commend him for his foresight and ability to realise that he would have no job if he continued on down this ridiculous track of trying to tell me that his job was finished. No, it wasn't. It wasn't even close to being finished. You've got all that to do yet. Ever next. Right, anyway, I've finished abusing my workforce, so let's go back and just top up with fertiliser, and we can get this one going in the big field over there. That one, like I said, I reckon it's going to take 2 loads on the tank. It may even take 3 loads. I'm going to bring the machine back to the yard to reload with fertiliser rather than taking fertiliser out to the machine, because that bit would be far more realistic. With a sprayer, you would go to wherever your tank is for your fertilizers and liquids and stuff like that. You wouldn't have the liquids being taken to the sprayer, and that's one bit that isn't particularly out of order or unusual, coming back to the yard for every single load. I've known a number of farms where that is exactly how they do it. I don't actually know of any farms where they transport liquid fertilizer out to the vehicle that's doing the spraying, either liquid fertilizer or water for sprays or anything else. I never met, I don't think I've ever been on any farm where they do that. They always, the sprayer goes and gets it. I think a large part of it is because some of the sprays come sort of ready-made. Like if you're spraying fertilizer on the field, that's like a solution of fertilizer is already made up, whereas a lot of the sprays you just fill the tank up with water and then you add in a small thing of powders or liquids or whatever it might be that you've got for that particular type of spray that you're using. If I press the right pedal, there we go. Let's go on to there. We'll start that one going down through here. Now I'm curious if it's going to get all the way down to the end of the field or if it's going to decide to stop and turn part way down. I suspect it will do the old stop and turn part way down because of where those trees are right down the bottom end. We may even have to seriously consider removing some of those trees. I don't think we will. I think we're going to be okay with that. But just in case, we will keep an eye on it as it travels down just this little short distance down here. And then we can deal with it. And so then, once we've done this bit, once we've made sure that this one is working fine and is happy to carry on, we will then go and get our truck, and we'll take that one and we'll park it up on that slope again, and we can get going with our wood chipper. We'll dump some wood chips into the truck, and then all the rest of the wood chips on that plateau we are just going to shred and just throw them abroad, right across the countryside. Right. I think we're probably okay for it to just turn there. That's fine. We can go, because we're going to have to go round the outside edge of the field anyway, just to sort of tidy things up. So I think we'll be just fine doing it like that. So let's grab this one, and we will run... Actually, we'll run out this... No, we'll go straight down through the yard, I think. It's quicker and easier to go down through the yard with this one, and then we can get going with chopping up some of those trees. Come down through there. Come on around here. And I have considered doing some... Oop, nearly went too far. I have considered doing silage in here, and at the moment I've kind of ruled out doing clamp silage here. I don't really want to. I kind of like using it as a track for the main reason. But also, I feel that if we're going to do more silage for the cows, we'd end up doing some silage bales. I do need to put some more food in for the cows. I am aware that I need to put more food in for the cows, and probably fairly soon, so that we can top them right up, because we put a full trailer load of silage in for those bad boys, and it didn't even fill them up. It was like it took them to about halfway. So we're going to need to put some more mixed feed and stuff like that in. A few people have said they would very much like to see me go and get the mixed feeder, the stationary mixed feeder that we used in Kerala, and use that one here as well, because it would be fitting now that we've got like 200 cows. I kind of like the idea of doing that, but I don't really want to be repeating myself, because once I start doing cows in the Italian map, in the Terra Italica map, I can never remember the name of it. Yeah, the Terra Italica map that I'm doing for the time-lapse now, I'm going to be using that particular mod for that map, and I don't want to be using the same mod on all the maps that I'm doing. So I'm sort of taking that into account as well, so I'm not quite sure at the moment if I am going to commit to using the stationary feeder or not. We'll wait and see on that. I'll make a decision later on. Oop, steady, steady, steady. There we go. Forward a bit more. Bit more. There we go. Right. We'll let that one empty out. So yeah, the Terra Italica, for those of you who do watch the series, we will be branching out into cows at some point. It probably won't be in the first, well, definitely not in the first year, for because we're running seasons on that. I'm doing 6 days per season on it rather than 9, which I did on Dowland. Ended up that 9 was too much. 3 days per transition phase. It took too long. And I spent a lot of the series, I was just like fast forwarding time, and it was tiresome and it was a bit of a bother. So I didn't really want to do that again. So this time round I've gone for slightly less, and we've gone for 6 days per transition, well, 6 days per season, which is 2 days per transition. I think that's going to work a lot better. It means that in the quiet times, we'll get through the quiet times considerably faster than what we did previously over in Dowland Farm. And I think it's a good compromise. When I do start with cows, to start with, I'll just put like the stuff in separately. But when I may get like a small mixed feeder just to start with. But I do plan on having a permanently positioned mixed feeder that will mix it all up. We'll tip the stuff into a trailer and then we'll move it into the cows. And so I'm not quite sure how we're going to run that and operate it. It's really a wait and see type situation. We will wait and see on that, and then we will come to it as and when I get to there. But yeah, it's going to be several episodes before we get into that. A few people have been asking, am I going to do another time lapse, or am I going to go back to doing 2 time lapses a week? I have no intention of going back to 2 time lapses a week. I may do a couple of extra bonus ones, one or 2 extra bonus ones when FS19 comes out, just as like an extra thing. But I don't intend to go back to doing 2 per week. I intend to keep it at 1 per week. It works a lot better all round, I think. And I'm also not intending to do a different map before FS19 comes out. I'm going to be staying on the map that I'm doing right now, the Italian one. I absolutely love that Italian map. I've absolutely fallen in love with it. It's very, very appealing. I love the small fields. I love the unique architecture that is all the way around, all the buildings and stuff on it. It just looks amazing. There's a lot of work gone into it. There were several bugs on the map that have since been patched in an update that the creator did for the map. It's absolutely wonderful. So there's a huge, huge amount of work has gone into that map. One thing I'm not so keen on is a lot of the fields, it's quite possible to join them together very easily, but they have long grass in between the fields, sort of weeds and stuff, but it's not like the weeds in this. I know this is like a new thing that they added in, the ability to plow these weeds up, but there's no such thing in the Terra map. So if I do decide to join a couple of fields together, I'm going to have like this permanent line of weeds down through the middle of the field, which is not brilliant. I'm not overly keen on that bit. Right, helper K has been blocked by an object. That has got to be this one right here. Why have you been blocked? Oh, he's done that. Look, see, he's grounded himself. They do this. They do this. Yeah, see? If I turn him that way, I may be able to do this without having to unfold him. Without having to fold him up. We can do this. There we go. Right, he's still got 1500. I think we're going to be alright with this one. What I'm actually thinking is we'll take it right over to the other side. Although I don't think we need to do it this time. But no, we'll do this. We'll take it right over to this side and we'll start a run up across the field so that it goes past all those telegraph poles. Except I don't think it's going to go past all the what we had before was it wouldn't go past them all. And I've got, it's slightly wider in the middle there than it is up here. And then they sort of, it was deciding that telegraph poles were too close. And so it was trying to turn before it should have done. If I bring it there, is that going to be too far out? I'll move in a little bit. So I'll bring that one back there. Let's try it there. I'll see what it does. If I can get this bit done here, then when it comes to finish the field properly, he'll move back up through it'll come back up through the field, and it should finish the entire field without any problem. I'm going to just nurse this one down on this. I think I've actually gone too far over. I think it's going to actually run right into those telegraph poles further down. Yeah, I seriously misjudged on that. Let me stop that a minute. Now, is it going to let me go past these telegraph poles down here without doing anything ridiculous and silly? Or is it going to stop and decide that it can't get past them and then going to go the other way anyway? It does do some strange things sometimes. I am hoping, very, very much so, that if we have an improved hired help that will follow the contours of the edge of a field, and also not just like the standard fields, but if I ploughed up a field like this and then I said, right, do one round around the outside, it would do one round around the outside. I'd like that. I'd like it to be able, to just have some simple options for the hired help. Twice around the edge and then straight up and down. If it could do that, that would be absolutely incredible. I don't, you know that the whole multi-angle terrain where the lines come out exactly in the direction you're going, rather than just in straight up, down, and diagonals. I don't care about that. I'm quite happy for the hired help to like ordinarily work just straight up and down or in diagonals, or sideways, whichever. That I think would be fine. If we could have them, you could say, right, do once around the edge and then do the land work, or do twice around the edge for a headland and then round. Or if you've got like a narrow machine, obviously it would do more times. You could say do 6 times around the edge and then start doing the land work. And then as soon as it done that, it would start moving up and down, and it would do it all the way across the field, even like the awkward bits and the bits where you've got like a lot of it, and it wouldn't be leaving triangles and everything on the ends. It would actually go all the way out and do the job properly. I would love to see hired help working like that. It would be absolutely brilliant. 0 graphics improvements at all, and working like that would be sensational. I really like, I'm quite happy to sacrifice graphics in favour of better hired help. I really, really am. It would mean so much to me. Whether or not that's going to happen, I'm not really sure. So we've got one load here. I'm actually going to leave this load right here, and we'll worry about emptying that one out when we've finished doing this bit up here. We're going to go back to this one. I'm going to drive over to where the edge of our field is going to be. Just start that one up again, and then I'll start that one as well. There we go. Right, so the edge of our field is going to be roughly here. Let me just we'll get rid of this tree here a minute, and then we've got another couple trees over that side that we want to get rid of as well. We're going to sort of start working our way back down through. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to have it chucking out onto the ground. And we'll go over this. Now, this bit over here is not actually going... I'm going to stop that tipping a minute. Because that bit's not actually going to get done. And this tree here, this is not in the field where we're going to be working. I just want to remove the tree anyway, because I don't want lots of trees in the way. It's just going to make it easier for like turning on headlands and stuff like that. We're going to have a lot of trouble up here anyway. So I figure we want to kind of remove as much as we can. Anything to make our job a little bit easier when we're up here. The actual wood chips, we can just store them straight in the wood chipper here into the Bruck's Big Daddy, and it doesn't need to be, they don't need to be gotten rid of. It's not going to spoil the machine. It's not going to stop you from chopping the trees down. But for realism, I would like to dump all the wood chips on the ground, except for these. I'm going to put them in the areas where we're actually going to be ploughing. So if I just chop up this tree here, I can take a cultivator and I can quickly scoot over some of the rest of it so that we can get rid of it, which is going to be very, very simple and easy to do. Now, we've got that tree there I definitely want to get rid of, and then we're mostly done with all the extra trees. This tree might actually be more of a... We'll come back to that tree. That's a bigger one. That's quite thick, that tree is. So we'll come back to that one and we'll deal with that one right at the end, I think. I'll take this one down here. Back out a little bit. It is possible just to use one thing at a time, so you use like only the cutter bit to start with to cut the trees down, and then you can go back through and you can like grind the stumps out afterwards if you want to. You can basically do either as far as this Bruck's Big Daddy is. I prefer to just do both at the same time. I just find it a little bit easier to use it if I'm doing both at the same time. So we grabbed that bit there. And now we're sort of getting back into what I'm actually going to plough up as part of the field. So I'm going to start emptying it out. I'm going to just leave it on emptying mode at all times. And it should just dump everything straight onto the ground. All of the wood chips would just drop on the ground behind us. And we can just keep going through all the trees. Which means that we're going to have these piles of wood chips everywhere. Which when we come to actually cutting down, actually doing the ploughing, could be quite interesting. It might, you know, we're going to have like bumps and ruts and everything to the tractor to be climbing over, which could affect the way that it performs with doing all the ploughing. And I mean, if it does, I think it'd be absolutely brilliant. It's going to make it quite interesting watching it do that. So we've got that bit there. There's another one over here that we want to remove. Steady. Don't want to go into it quite at that kind of speed, but I think that one is actually in the field. It's not right in the field, it is just in the field. There we go, we've got rid of that one as well. And if I back up here, I can probably turn around now and the wood chips will stay in the field. I'm going to go down this way and try and sort of work so the wood chips are pointing inwards. What I don't want to be left with is piles of wood chips gone over the edge of the plateau, because what it's going to end up doing is it could cause us a bit of lag on the map when we're playing. I don't really want that. So if I can keep all the wood chips on the inside, then we can, once we get up here with the plough, they'll all be deleted. They'll all be gotten rid of, and then we're not going to have to worry about them. Make life very, very simple and easy for us. It shouldn't take us all that long to get rid of these either. I think we're going to be able to get through these quite quickly. We've only got up to that point. I know that there are people who watch a channel who've actually gone through and they have cut down every single tree across the entire plateau, and they do some work up here. Hats off to you, that is quite an accomplishment. To remove every single tree up here is going to take a while. One person said they did it like where they got rid of everything and they sold all the logs, and they chainsawed and they used the Ponzi up here, and they spent ages and ages working through it like that. Another person said they just used this Brux chipper and just hacked the whole lot down all in one great big go. Either option is going to take a while, and obviously cutting it up and moving all the logs and everything is going to take far, far longer than just hacking them all down with this thing. However, even hacking them all down with this thing is still going to take you quite a while. Let's just back up a little bit there. I want to get onto that one. There we go. It's making sure you get the stump on this one, on those little ones. It would be very, very easy to miss the stump because of the way that the trees are. And bring that one into there. Oh, no, I want to come around a little bit. Ooh, nice. We went through that one really, really quickly. Sometimes they do. Sometimes it go through the tree, just like almost an instant thing. It would just slice right through it. You just got to get it in exactly the right spot on the front of the wood chipper. I think it's slightly, as you look at the front of it, it's slightly to the left. If you angle it slightly to the, if you like put it slightly to the left-hand side, it'll go through a lot quicker than it will any other direction. So yeah, we want to just bring it in slightly on that head, just left of center. Seems to be the best spot for making this wood chipper work the most accurate. You don't want to like go right up to the stump. You want to be slightly out from it, and that also seems to help. So bring that one in round there, and I think we're going to get a very large chunk of these trees done today. And then we've got, well, we'll finish them off in next week's episodes, and we'll also be able to get up here with the big bud and start ploughing. I'm really looking forward to that. I think this job up here with the big bud is going to be one of the more interesting jobs that we've done. Certainly, like the ploughing job up here is definitely going to be one of the more interesting things that we've done here. And it's, yeah, I don't know why. It's just, you get the occasional job that you're planning to do in Farming Simulator, and you really, really look forward to it. You sort of think this is going to be really interesting one to do. It's actually going to be highly entertaining getting this done, and it's going to prove very interesting. There's just something about it that you sort of think, yep, it's definitely going to be an interesting experience trying to get this done. And I think the ploughing up here with that big bud is one such occasion. It is going to be incredibly interesting trying to get round. I think it's going to be a challenge. I think it's definitely going to be a challenge. I think we're going to struggle with it in places. Oh, there we go. Got it at last. Down the next bit. It's got the stump. I think it's got the stump. Oh, no, I don't think I did get the stump. That's going to be our main challenge here, I think, is being able to get all the stumps first time round. Because it's a job to see them. That's the difficulty. Oh, I think I've got it now. Right. Let me bring that round there. I'll take out the small one first. I think it'll be just easier to see. Go like that. You can hear the different sound in the tone on the cutter. It does that. That seems to make quite a difference. There we go. That one's out. And then I can get the next one. Gotta be careful which way I'm pointing this. So if you have it a little way out in front of you, it does seem to cut a lot better than if you get in too tight. Getting in too tight, it seems to put the actual cutting point of the machine too far forward, and basically it goes right through the tree. So you got your cutting point on the wrong side of the tree, which you don't really want. We're running out of time for today's episode, so my weekly question this week, and I've actually remembered what it is at the beginning of the episode, when I first asked you, which is quite impressive, I think, really, all things considered. The sugarcane field. We've got a sugarcane field up over there. What do you want me to do with it? When we have finished this harvest, do you want me to leave the sugarcane just as it is and do sugarcane again right in that field? Do you want me to plough that one up and replant sugarcane either in that one up there or this one down here? Or do you want me to get rid of sugarcane entirely and sell all the sugarcane equipment as well? It's your vote. It's your game. Head into the comment section down below. Let us know which one you want and why. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. We've just got that tree out there. What I'll do, I think, is we're going to go over to some of our other stuff now. We're going to empty out those sugarcane trailers, and we're going to go and get the Imperador, and we're going to take that one back to the yard, reload it with fertilizer, bring it back out the field, and let it carry on again. There we go. Right, so that's that bit done. If I just move forward a bit... Oh, no, it's completely empty. We can carry on with this in our next episode. Don't want to do all the same stuff all the way through, so let's just turn that one off of hired help a minute, and fold it back up again. Another thing with hired help, I really hope that they address the way that side-mounted machinery is operated in the field. If we're using hired help on this, and so it is working, but it's not like going around the edge of the field in a circle and thus keeping one side of the crop into it and keeping the tractor out of the crop, which is incredibly unrealistic. We know that this particular piece of it is highly unrealistic, and it's definitely not something that would happen in real life, but also that it is quite a step forward, because in FS15 you couldn't have hired help working with side-mounted machinery at all. So we've at least got a step in the right direction, but I would like to see it working in a loop. So you could say set it working on like an 8-meter width or something like that, well, say a 30-meter width or something like that, and it would go up, and then it would cut a line down through the middle of the field, and then it would work it round in a circle, so it would just keep working it in loops, which means that the tractor wouldn't be driving in the crop. It would keep the tractor out of the crop and keep the machine in the crop, as a much more realistic approach. So that's something, I don't know how they're going to address that. It'd be very interesting to find out. I've been asked if I'm going to do a video reviewing FS19 and what we know so far. At the moment, we don't know a great deal. We've had a few screenshots, we've had a few other bits. Personally, I think it's kind of pointless, and you know, it just doesn't seem to be much point in making a video to show you a picture that you can all see on Facebook and Twitter and on the main Farming Simulator website anyway. I mean, literally just making a 3-minute video to show you a picture, I don't think there's any point to it. So when we've got some more stuff, when there's a lot more detail come out, I'm more than happy to make a video giving my opinions on it and what I think and what I'd like to see and comparing it and so on, and basically just reviewing what we've found so far. I'm quite happy to do that. I've had a couple of people already request me to do something like that. And like I said, I don't really want to do like a 3 or 4 minute video. It kind of seems pointless, and it does seem a bit like you're just desperately trying to grab views, and I don't want to do that. So when there's enough to make a decent video and we've got material that we can look through, if that's what you want, then Frithgar will deliver. Frithgar will deliver if the public want it. So, oh, hang on. No, I need to refill one more. Yeah, so I'm more than happy to do it. It's just that there's no material to sort of do that with yet. And don't worry. I will be doing plenty of stuff about FS19. And when the game comes out, I'm going to be flooding this channel with FS19 videos. For the first week or two after launch, I will probably be doing a load of extra videos for Farming Simulator 19. You'll have it every single day of the week for at least a couple of weeks. I think last time around I actually did 2 videos a day for a couple of weeks. I probably won't do 2 videos a day, but... well, I don't know. I might do. I could do 2 videos a day for the first couple of weeks, and then we'll sort of dial it back a bit, and go back to sort of a schedule more similar to what we have now. I don't know. We'll see what happens when it happens. It's months away yet. I don't know anything about the game yet, so I can't really go saying I'm definitely going to do this or definitely going to do that. But don't worry. Those of you who've been asking, am I planning to play it? Am I going to do extra videos or stuff like that? I'm going to play it. I'm going to cover it. You're going to have a glut of FS19 material coming from this channel when there is material to be made. I absolutely guarantee it. It's going to happen. You will have it. You'll have all you could possibly want. Well, to be honest, there probably won't be everything you want, but there'll be lots. There's going to be lots. But anyway, that's all we've got time for today. So if you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.